pear trees are blossoming, but I don't see any of my bees. I need to open up that beehive with you. I'm not gonna do it right now, but yeah, no bees coming out. I am still gonna clean it all up and let it be welcoming. I think there's a lot of honey still in it. I like to leave it out and let it just invite a swarm. That's happened many years where a wild swarm finds it. I'm finishing the last pieces that go in the bonus section of the Elite Decorating Academy. You guys, I have been working on this project, well, for 3.5 years. I've been writing the classes, and then for the last, January, we started in January, for the last 4 months, been working almost around the clock, trying to get all of the curriculum put together and put into the course. There's podcast version, there's a book that goes with it, there is bonus material and interviews and movie reviews and so many parts to this course that I've put together. I've never seen anything like it. It's a total dream come true. I actually feel like I could lay down on the floor and cry here in a few days. At the release of this video, Elite Decorating Academy will be live and taking students. So if you are looking for just a one and done comprehensive design course that you can do at your own pace, this is the one I want you to check out. And we are gonna take a break because my team's been working so hard on this for so long. We're gonna take a little breather, but as soon as we're ready, we're gonna start getting it into colleges around the US. So that is how comprehensive this design course is. I take the whole world of interior design that I've been working in for the last 2 decades and then pair it with the DIY world, and I've put it into about 145 different classes that you can take at your own pace whenever you want from anywhere in the world. And I'm so excited to be releasing the Elite Decorating Academy. I'm meeting my dad for lunch and we're in Centralia, Washington. I just have to show you this old hotel that we're meeting at. I know you'll love it. Thinking they might do weddings here. And that place, we're not eating in the Branch. Oh, it's an antique mall too. But that looks like a really nice restaurant, the Branch. I'm gonna take my husband back here later. I'm probably not supposed to look behind these curtains. Oh, the grand ballroom. I'm pretty sure I attended a wedding here last year. The ballroom. Oh, nothing behind the curtain. Beautiful sitting room for the hotel guests. Nice. Okay, I need to stop vlogging and go see my dad. We're eating in Berryfields Cafe. It's a little bit more casual. It's on the other end of the building. We are back in the living room and I want to solve more problems today. I've done a little bit of back and forth, and so I'm going to share with you the things I've been thinking about. First of all, let's choose the chairs. The 2 armchairs. This is a classic layout in this room where you have the couch facing the TV and then 2 armchairs, usually facing each other. And you can bulk that out by adding maybe 2 love seats or 2 sets of chairs perpendicular to the couch, but it's pretty standard that the couch is facing the TV and then you build smaller chairs and tables out from there. So let's look at the 2 options. One is going to be these recliners that I finished. I remade them. I tried to age them for the fireside room, and that was a really fun tutorial. But it is moving into the summer months, and so I feel like I could move them into a different room if we wanted, because normally the purpose of those chairs is to relax next to the wood stove. So I feel like my husband could be a little more agreeable just because of the time of year it is where we use those chairs. The first look is that set of cognac recliners. And right away I'm thinking, gosh, I do not like the back of those chairs. Oh my gosh. Whenever I film from this angle, I'm sitting on the window seat and it's all toasty warm with those heaters I got for the dogs. Yeah, I don't like the back of them. Let's see, let's come from the other angle. I don't think the color's bad. I just don't know if it's too much of a contrast with that creamy piano. And I really don't like the back of that chair when we walk in. Here's what it looks like. Oh yeah, we're not gonna do that. You gotta pay attention to the first thing that people see when they walk in. Okay, well, I guess we've narrowed that back down. I might end up buying a whole nother set of chairs actually, because the white ones, they might feel a little too white. Of course, I don't have pillows involved yet. And I feel like they're a little small maybe even. Okay, and this, well, this looks better. Next question. Okay, I think that I can deal with styling those chairs. I just don't know if they're too white for this room. They're kind of high contrast. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be checking OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace daily for sets of interesting chairs. These look fabulous in my room, so I can always move them back upstairs. Okay, stay tuned on the chairs. You know, they're not true dark academia. And it's not light academia either. I wanted to just feel like a moody sort of, you know, English cottage sitting room. Yeah, they're just it's too stark. Dang it. Okay, I'm gonna keep working on that. Let's talk about this real quick. Okay, this table I just bought for $150. I love the bamboo. It was on OfferUp. 3 questions. Let's do the legs first. It's a tiny bit, I feel like you could say that it's a little bit short. So my thought is I'm gonna get on Etsy and I'm gonna see about getting some casters that have the little cup and then the wheel. And I'm gonna look into getting gold ones. So that brings me to the question, do I want to gild this table? Here's my inspiration pick. And I know that the picture is a little bit thinner, so it's different than, the legs are different than this one. But I think it's close enough. So questions, casters, gilding. I do like the brown, but if I go with some brown chairs, then the gold would be fine. And then the glass. Do I want to, I don't think I want to leave it. It's this dark, it's a dark glass. I'm thinking I could make it look like marble. I could do mercury glass, or along the same veins, I could do an antiqued mirror. And you can buy contact paper that looks like an antique mirror. So I think I'll just buy that as a sample. Yeah, and see what we think. Okay, I've been messing around with this coffee table. I've got it actually on little baby blocks. I just wanted to get a feel for the height that we were going for with those casters. And I feel like it was just that little bit of elevation makes it a lot better focal point. And so I definitely want to get my hands on some casters. We'll be going that direction. And I think what I'm going to do is just take this one step at a time. So, and that's oftentimes what you'll do is if you know you want something, take that one step and then it'll inform you the direction for the preceding steps. So once I have these casters in, then I will know if I want to do the gold paint. And then I already had some marble contact paper, some like faux marble contact paper, and it was pretty cold. I'll be surprised if I end up doing a faux painting for that look on the glass. We'll see. But the biggest thing besides being cold, I felt like, and when I say cold, I mean that the gray in Carrara marble has a blue undertone. It always has and it always will. So you have to factor in cold blue undertones when you're using Carrara marble. The other thing though that I hadn't thought about was that it looked really, and I'll show it to you. To me, it looked too busy, and I really want the florals in the rug to have its moment and not be competing with another pattern. So I think that's the main reason I don't want to do the Carrara marble, but let me show you what it looks like. This is oftentimes what I do. I just do any type of mock-up that I can. I mean, we have baby blocks, which I really like the height. I think that's going to be probably all we need to do. And then I have this contact paper. I've actually used this contact paper as a surround on my mantle upstairs. And you cannot even tell. My other goal this week is to figure out what to do with these white vinyl windows. I know there's a way to do this. At the very least, I'm gonna get some paintable contact paper and just painstakingly cover every little thing and paint it the blue. I mean, I did find some trim. You know, some of this I could piece together, but a lot of it's gonna be basically painted contact paper. And I think that will look a lot more European to have the dark crossbars on all the windows. Ooh, I think that could be quite a job, but oh, it's gonna look so good. All right, so I've got my work cut out for me. And I think once we have that done, I'll have a better feel for maybe I don't even want curtains on these windows. Here's a funny story. I'll leave you with a funny story. I guess it's not funny, but see how that window over here is bigger? It's because this used to be 2 rooms. It's bigger than that one. And I keep the couch in front of it to help balance out that discrepancy. When we first bought the house and did we buried power lines, we gutted the house, we refinished all the floors, we did a complete overhaul in the kitchen, we did new plumbing, new electrical. We didn't put the roof on right then, but we have done so much work. I mean, we put $100,000 into it right away, and our friend came over to see the house and didn't say one word about all the stuff we'd done. The first thing he said was, and the only thing he said was, did you know that your 2 windows are differing sizes? You really should rip out that smaller one and put in a bigger one. And that was about 12 years ago. And sometimes I think, yeah, maybe we should switch it out. But you know, do you ever just keep those things in your house that you feel like are kind of quirky, but it kind of makes you love your house because of the quirkiness? I think that window is one of those things. I know it's not perfect, and it's awkward from the outside and it's a little bit awkward from the inside, and I can kind of fake it by putting benches under it and things, but I don't know that I'll ever fix it. I think it's one of those things that just kind of make me like the house for what it is. So that's probably enough for this video, and I will get going on those casters and some type of a solution for those windows. But put in the comments below something that you have about your house that you know isn't perfect, and maybe someone's even kind of commented on it, but you keep it because it gives your house personality and it's kind of a little bit of a conversation piece. Let me know what you have in your space, and take care, and I will talk to you soon.